Okay, Riley Dennis. So this is the second time I'm filming this video. I feel like the first take was a little too angry, and I decided I want to convey a slightly different message. So Riley has, for the longest time, posted content that has been very frustrating for me to watch. And a lot of it has revolved around, at least recently, the idea that if you do not want to date and or have sex with someone who is transgender, then you are a bigot and transphobic.
Recently on the internet, there's been a lot of discussion around genital preferences and transphobia. So what's been happening is that some people are making the argument that it's not cis-sexist at all to only be attracted to people with one kind of genitals. I'm trying to show that preferences for women with vaginas over women with penises might be partially informed by the influence of a cis-sexist society.
So I have a real problem with this mentality, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I think that this is wrong and why I think that it's almost detrimental to people to think this way. But I would like to preface all of this by saying, as much as Riley's content enrages me, I don't think that Riley is a bad person, okay? Like, I feel like there is, you know, a genuine concern for trans rights, and it's just being gone about in the wrong way. Now, a lot of people are aware of Lacey Green recently, how she's been at least opening up discussion for the other side to speak, whereas before maybe she was more closed off and only wanted to hear an extremely feminist narrative, and it was kind of an echo chamber type of situation, and now she's allowing for more conversations and seeing the other perspective, which is really great. I feel like if Riley could do the same thing, who knows? Who knows what could happen? The fact that a transgender person is pushing this agenda is kind of blowing my mind, because isn't this the exact mentality that the LGBT community has been fighting against for so long, trying to say that your sexual preferences are not a choice? Hasn't that been the struggle, trying to convince people that it's not your choice that you're gay? You know, you just happen to be gay. It's not a choice, right? It's not a choice. That applies here too. It's not a choice that I am not attracted to women. The thought of a vagina, or the thought of someone who is physically presenting as a woman, it just does not attract me. So it is both outward appearance and what's in the pants, because I'm pretty sure a vagina, like, trust me, like, I have a lot of lesbian friends. I go to a lot of LGBT events. I have had a lot of beautiful women approach me, and unfortunately, I can't reciprocate. Like, and I wish that I could, honestly. If I had the choice, I would choose to be bisexual. That would open up a lot of options, but I am not. And again, I would like to reiterate that none of that is a choice. I would like to say though, a couple of years ago, I had a heart-to-heart conversation with a couple of my friends, and they asked me if I would ever date a transgender man. And I thought about it for a second, and my answer was, I don't know. I don't know, because I have never been in a situation where I have been physically attracted to a person who was presenting as a man, and then later finding out that they have differing genitalia than what I was expecting. I've never been in that situation. I will say that I know that I have no desire to get anywhere near a vagina, but I mean, once love becomes involved, I don't know. Like, let's say I started dating someone and we decided to wait to have sex for like 3 months, and then I fell for them. And then I found out that they were a woman biologically. I don't know that that would be enough to get me to stop dating them. But this is all very hypothetical, because I've never been in this situation, so I don't know. So I guess if someone came up to me and said, Jacqueline, would you date a transgender man? My answer would still be, I don't know. I don't think that I would want to have sex with someone that had a vagina, but I don't know. But the thing is for the purposes of this video, I don't think that my question mark of an answer should be, what is the standard for everyone? Maybe some people know that that is just a hard line that they would not cross. And I don't think that there should be anything wrong with that. If someone's answer is different than mine, and that they say, I could absolutely 100% without a doubt ever date somebody that had, you know, differing genitalia than what I wanted, or physically presented in a different way, I don't think that that at all is a reflection of some kind of bigotry that they have. And I think it's kind of ridiculous to assume so. What you're doing right now is you're chasing after people and pointing a finger in their face and saying, if you do not have sex with someone, it means that you're bigoted towards them. And don't you think that's kind of a dangerous mentality to have, going around and telling people, hey, you know, if you don't have sex with this type of person or this type of person, or maybe one day it will progress to the point where it's me. If you don't want to have sex with me, it's because you're bigoted or prejudiced against me. And don't you see how that could be kind of manipulative language towards someone who maybe is not so comfortable with saying no? So what inspired me to make this video is earlier I was on Twitter and I saw that Riley tweeted, "The blanket statement, 'I would never date a trans person,' is an assumption based on nothing but a hatred of trans people." And I quoted the tweet and said, so if a gay man makes the blanket statement, "I would never date a woman," it's an assumption based on nothing but a hatred of women. Sexist pigs. Would you walk up to a gay man and say that he is sexist against women? Would you walk up to a lesbian and say, hey, you're sexist against men? No. I want to say I don't care if you don't want to date trans people, because I know I personally certainly don't give a shit about dating you. You don't give a shit about dating me? Are you serious? Are you bigoted towards me? I don't know, guys. I think that's pretty clear bigotry. But I do worry for trans people who flirt with you at a bar or whatever, then they tell you they're trans and you freak out and hurt them. Okay, so here's where I'm with you. And I mean, I don't think anyone would really disagree. And if someone disagrees with you on this part, that person obviously is transphobic. No one should be agreeing that people who come out as trans when they're flirting deserve to be physically assaulted. And that's where I feel kind of sad thinking about this, because if you could stay on topics like this and say things like, and fight for rights like this, saying trans people shouldn't be assaulted whenever they come out, everyone would be on board with you. You would be fighting for a great cause and everyone would support that. And you could be accomplishing good things, but instead you take it too far and say not only should they not be physically assaulted, but you should also fuck them. Really? It breaks my heart when I think people who have genuinely good intentions go about things in the wrong way and they end up alienating more people than doing good for their own cause. And I think Riley is a clear-cut example of this. Like, you could be doing a lot of good for the world, but instead you're just pissing off people who could be standing right beside you, cheering you on, supporting you, fighting for the same cause. And this screenshot is mocking the kind of person who hates trans people but knows it's improper to say that in public. So they just say, ew, gross, I don't date trans people, nothing wrong with them, I just, ew, that's not my thing, you know? I don't really think that that's how most people would react by saying, you know, ew. Like if someone said, oh, you know, there's a beautiful woman, would you be interested in dating her? I wouldn't be like, ew, she's disgusting. I would just be like, oh, you know, I'm straight. And to be totally fair, the closest thing I can think of that resembles that type of a reaction to another person is whenever I hear lesbian friends talk about guys and their penises. But of course, no one's gonna complain about that, now are we? But for argument's sake, I'm sure that there are people that are like what you say, that just inherently hate trans people and say, ew, gross, and point the finger and roll their eyes and are just kind of mean about the whole thing. I'm sure those people exist, but you can't lump that small fraction of people in with the larger population who also might not be interested in dating and or having sex with a transgender person. Not every single person that's just simply not interested has this like, ew, gross, trans person, like I would never. Not every single person not interested is that kind of person. And in your tweet, you said you didn't like blanket statements. Well, this is kind of blanketing a lot of people into that category by saying anyone who's not interested is bigoted. That's horrible to do.
Number 5, instead of saying that you hate trans people, just say that you wouldn't date them. It's now not okay to hate someone just because they're trans. That's ridiculous. You know it, I know it, we both know it. So to get around this, just say you would never date a trans person.
You can't lump every single person not interested into the category of people who are actually bigoted.
It's a good way of getting your message across without explicitly saying it. Plus, if anyone criticizes you, you can just call them a rapist and claim that they're trying to force you to have sex with a transgender person.
I think using the word rape here is too strong. But I do think that it is pushing boundaries and is really inappropriate to use manipulative language to threaten someone with the label of a bigot if they don't want to have sex with someone. I'm sure as a self-proclaimed feminist, you can see that, right? Oh, you don't want to have sex with me? That must mean that you don't really care about me. Do you know how many guys have said that to me? No, it doesn't work. But I'm sure on some people it does work, using that kind of manipulative language that if you don't do this thing, if you're not open to doing this thing that makes you uncomfortable or that maybe you're not interested in, then you have a problem. Then you're doing something that's offensive to me. I think that's really dangerous. I don't really have a lot else to add to this video, and I don't want to rant and go on too long. I just wanted to put this out there that I really don't think that anyone should be putting any bigoted labels on people because of who they want or don't want to have sex with and or date. If you're standing there saying, I don't think these people deserve equal rights, I don't think these people should be treated as equals, then yes, of course, full force, attack these people, bring them down, make videos exposing them, but just stay away from doing that to people who might not be interested. You know what I'm saying? And it seriously bums me out that, like, these people who at least we can all agree on, like, core fundamentals, we can't, like, come together and support that. We have to, like, nitpick at stupid little things that should not even be a problem. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Do you think I'm totally off base here, or do you agree with me? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. All my social media links are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!